Hi, 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 hi. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, hello. Come in, come in. Settle down, boys and girls. Hi, hi, hi. 开录了，开录了. Okay, please help me to like and share, comment. If you're watching this, right? If you are watching in since watching my daily live video, since day one, thank you very much for your support. It's been very encouraging. I'm seeing that more and more people is coming in to see the videos. That's very encouraging. Okay, and same thing. Likewise, I start this right is ask anything with John Tan. Ask anything that you want regarding a property or maybe even personal question if you like to lah. So ask anything that you want. Okay, type down in the comments if you want or PM me my WhatsApp if you want. I think you can find my WhatsApp number easily lah. Right. So today, right, this question was posed by another good friend of mine. You know who you are. Uh, this topic is about lease buyback scheme. Okay. I think this topic is rather interesting because we, as a Singapore, right, we are approaching the aging population already, right? So we are facing a very high percentage of our citizen population, right, that's going into old age, meaning to say, right, we have more and more old people, lah, right, in Singapore. So this topic comes in quite in time because in the next, I would say 5 to 10 years, right, there will be more and more people who will be exploring this option, right, for their existing HDB. Okay, this topic is more pertaining for people who are HDB owners. All right, because this scheme, right, is only offered to HDB owners. All right, so let me just do a share screen now. Right. Okay, so this right is called the lease buyback scheme. All right, if you are unsure, like I mentioned, right, sometimes when you read online, you read really right. After you read, it's even more confusing when you don't read. So there are only two things that you can do. Number one, either you ask someone to clarify. Sorry. Or number two, you call the HDB online and ask. Okay, because this thing right is also involving about CPF. So that's the reason why there is some things that you will have to take note if let's say either if you are the child of the parents who is considering about this lease buyback scheme, or if yourself, right, you're also, if yourself you are the flat owner, you are considering this buyback scheme. So today the topic for this live sharing session, right, is going to talk about this lease buyback scheme and what are the pros and cons of it lah. So this buyback scheme, right, was actually announced a few years back by the government. When it was first announced, right, the take up rate actually not very high because I think it's because number one, either lack of awareness, or number two, lack of understanding. Because I think personally this thing is very good for certain type of owners, right? I will explore with you further in this sharing session. Okay, so the lease buyback scheme, right? Okay, not to confuse with the other one, silver housing bonus. Okay, let me just briefly explain. Silver housing bonus is if let's say you have a bigger HDB flat like 5 room or EA, right? You downgrade to a 3 room, then the government give you a silver housing bonus. That means they incentivize you to downgrade lah, to right size right? That means to say you I think the amount is 30,000 because I didn't check the I just today just want to quickly cover about this lease buyback scheme. So if you downgrade from 5 room or EA, right, to a 3 room, then the government will pay you cash money 30,000 for silver housing bonus. Silver housing bonus. Okay, so not to be confused with lease buyback scheme. Okay, so today we just quickly touch on what is, zoom up a bit, the wording may be a bit small. Well, we quickly touch on what is a lease buyback scheme. Okay, so this is very good for if let's say you are the child, if their parents, right, is approaching 65 years old, at least one of them is Singaporean citizen, and their house is already fully paid. This is something that you want to take note and see whether it makes sense for them to do this or not, right? So the objective is very simple. The objective of HDB, right, or rather the objective of government, right, is one to make sure that our old folks, our older generation, our pioneer generation, our Merdeka generation, these people, right, can retire with good quality of life, right? They don't want like, wow, downgrade. They don't want like, they don't want them to like be very cash stretch, cash cash strapped. Then they all their money is stuck inside their house, that kind of feeling. So through the lease buyback scheme, you can monetize your house without selling it, right? That means you stay in your existing house and you get money from government, okay? In short lah, but there are some terms and conditions, okay, which I will cover now, right? Then you will sell part of the lease to HDB, okay, and choose to retain the length of the lease based on the age of the youngest owner, right? The proceeds of the selling of the lease, right, will used to be top up your RA, CPF retirement account. You can then use your CPF retirement account to join the CPF Life, which is like a annuity insurance annuity plan they will pay you monthly income. Okay, so in short, this is their intention. Okay, so if after reading this you still don't understand what it is, right? Then PM me, PM me or call me. Okay, now here comes the terms and condition. All the owners, wife and husband, usually wife and husband, they must be above 65 years old already. Then they can apply for this lease buyback scheme. Okay, at least one of them must be Singapore citizen. All right, gross monthly income 14,000 or less. Okay, so these three things, right? I think a lot of people don't qualify already, right? Because some people haven't even reached 65 yet, they were asking about this already. Some people, they are still earning quite a very strong income even after age of 65. So you have to look carefully, right? All flat types, 3-room, 5-room, 4-room, EA, no problem. Except short lease. That means maybe HDB rental flat lah, or maybe less than 30 years flat. Later on they will touch on what is the lease. HUDC, this one is privatized HDB housing. Executive condominium, this one is also considered private lah. Okay. Don't have second property. That means this is the one and only HDB that you have, and must be already fully paid. Here don't have right whether fully paid or not, but I remember it's fully paid. Okay, if here don't have right, that means don't need lah. All owners, this one 5 years lah, like MOP lah. At least 20 years of lease to sell to HDB, right? Okay. Here comes the more restriction. This one is the terms and condition. That means in order to apply for it, you must fulfill all this. Okay. Then this is the restriction. After you sell already, right? After you get the money from government, your lease is non-transferable in the market. That means you cannot sell your house anymore. Okay. You cannot sell the house in the open market or rent out the whole flat. Okay. Room rental still can be done. Okay. Premature of termination of lease. If you want to terminate your lease prematurely, you can return the flat to us and receive a refund for the remaining lease prorated on a straight line basis. Okay, your CPF plan will not be terminated and will continue to provide a lifelong monthly income. Okay, this is something to touch on. What does this mean? Meaning to say, after you apply for the lease buyback scheme, right? If let's say you still got say 15 years remaining, then maybe you'll say, hey, my children ask me to go and stay with them. Then this flat, right, because you cannot sell in the open market already, so you return this house back to government, then government will refund you based on the prorated number of years remaining, right? So this is what it means in a general sense, right? And then your previously the money that you get, right, will not be terminated. The money that you have inside your CPF will also continue to provide you a monthly income. Okay. And then what happens if you outlive the lease? Meaning to say, after, like for example, this 5-room flat, right? After you sell already, maybe left 25 years, then you are 65 years old. So 65 plus 25 is 90, right? What happens if you live beyond 90 years old, right? So over here, the government also stated very clearly, you will not be left homeless. They will look at your circumstances, such as whether your children want to help you or not, family support, health condition. What is your health condition? Health condition, and what is your financial status? So this one, they also want to see whether it's genuine case lah. Who knows? Maybe you outlive your lease. then your stock market portfolio $2 million, then of course they won't let you live in the house, right? So this is something that they will look into, yeah, such as family support, health condition, your existing health condition and financial status, and work out an appropriate housing arrangement with you and your family members. So meaning to say they don't give a yes and no answer. They don't give a say that, oh, no worry, we'll give you a house. They don't say something like that. They will look into it on a case by case basis, right? So this is what happens if you are strong and healthy. You outlive the lease after after taking up the lease buyback scheme. Okay, so what about the other way? That means what happens if you die young? That means you not say die young lah. That means you didn't use up the lease lah. So meaning to say, if let's say you after doing the lease buyback scheme, you still got 20 years remaining, but 5 years later, it's not say you lah, I after doing the lease buyback scheme, I still have 20 years, right? But 5 years later, I die. Okay, what happens? The remaining lease, right? They would give your spouse or children to live in the house in the balance lease, or you can return the flat to HDB, right? So if let's say you return it to HDB, right, they will reimburse the remaining value to your beneficiary based on a straight line depreciation. Okay, beneficiary meaning your surviving spouse or children, right? So the unused portion will be refunded to your CPF account when you pass away, right? Then this money will be then distributed to your nominees based on the CPF. Okay, so this money, if you don't have not make a nomination, then you will distribute based on the Singapore intestacy law. That means the estate law lah. That means when you pass away, what happens to your wealth distribution and all these things. Okay, so this is something that you will want to take note about. So essentially what it means is that you are selling away the house value, but the government give you the money you have to put inside the CPF will then pay you a monthly payout. Is it good? I would say if let's say you take up this very young, then it's good. Why I say so is because if let's say you only choose to activate this lease buyback scheme at the age of 75, right, you essentially you don't enjoy that benefit for 10 years. So if let's say if I were to go for this scheme, right, I would start it as young as possible. That means once if I confirm that this is something that I want really, right, at the age of 65, both me and my wife both once I reach age 65, right, then activate this ready. Because why? Because as we all know, the HDB housing, right, when it gets to the older range, right, the value starts to drop already. So this scheme, right, allows me to monetize the value of it even earlier. That means I am selling away the tail end of the lease, and then I'm reaping the reward now already. That means it's good lah. I think it's very good because this is something that will help to support in terms of your retirement years. It will help in terms of your basic lifestyle spending lah. So I think bottom they also got to do an illustration. Mm. Okay, so you see 3 room, 4 room, 5 room, you receive up to 30,000, 50,000, or 77,500 of the LBS respectively. Okay, then you can use the net proceed to top up into your CPF retirement account based on the specific requirements. So if let's say your retirement account, right, have not fulfilled this amount based on the age, you must see what is the top up requirement. All right. So top up requirement, if let's say there's only one owner left, like for example, the house, right, only got left the father or left the mother, then only this person needs to fulfill this account. Then if let's say it's 2, right, then this is the amount they need each person, right? Each owner will have to use his or her share proceeds to top up, right? Based on the age adjusted basic retirement sum. Okay, so this is based on 1st January the application. So I believe this amount will change every year. So this is something that you want to take note. I think this is a same thing aligned with the CPF. Every year it change CPF minimum retirement sum, right? Okay. So same thing as well. They give you bonus every $2. $1 for every $2 CPF top up for 3 room or smaller. $1 for every $4 CPF top up for 4 room. This part is something that I don't think I would say I will share that nothing is perfect lah. But most of the time, if you realize right, HDB they would just flat out, let's say 3 room flat, 4 room flat, 5 room flat. But I would be more appreciative if let's say they would judge based on the value of the house. You know what I mean? But that's something that you know I think they have more smart people inside, so they came out with this lah. So I cannot comment too much, right? So after you have top up your retirement account based on the specific requirements shown above, you may retain the proceed in cash. Okay, maximum up to 100K per household. Okay. Then if that say, I think just unlikely lah. But if let's say there's really more than 100,000 cash, right, owners have to use their shares, right, to further top up their retirement account, which is I think very difficult lah, very very difficult, because unless your house is in the prime area one, like where Queenstown, Commonwealth, Tiong Bahru, Tanjong Pagar, those prime area lah, those near $1 million house ah. So unlikely you will have this thing happening lah. But if let's say after topping up, you can choose to retain your cash. Okay, there will be cash if let's say there is still a value in that house. Okay, then your full retirement savings will go and buy a CPF Life if you still have at least 60,000 in your retirement account after the top up. Okay. So these are the options that you can choose, right? Based on your age of the youngest owner, right? Minimum how much you must remain the lease. That means if let's say today, this guy is 65 years old, he must remain 30 years. Okay. Then the remaining he can sell away. Like for example, the house left 75 years, he can choose to sell away 35 years of the lease, right? Then must keep 30 years lah. So they calculate this based on they expect the person to pass on around 95 lah. If you can see what is the requirement, right? You see, 70 plus minimum 25 95, 75 plus 20 95. So they buffer lah. They will say that this person, this house can last the person until the age of 95, which I think is higher than the average what's that called, death ratio, death age, right? Okay, so over here they also give you a illustration, right? If let's say this owner own a 5 room flat, don't have outstanding loan, balance lease 65 years, current market value. Oh yes, this market value is determined by HDB. So this is something you want to take note, right? They choose to keep 30 years, they can sell the tail end of 35 years to HDB. So they will have this amount of money from the government if they take up this lease buyback scheme. Okay, so currently before they sell the house, their retirement account only got this amount for the husband, this amount got the wife. So there is a shortfall to their 90,000. So over here already stated, you need 90,500. Okay, so over here, husband need to top up to 90,000, wife need to top up to 30,000. Okay, right. Then the remainder, right, will be in terms of cash. 70 plus 185, 150 plus really. So they left about 60K cash. So this cash they can choose to keep it. So this is a very standard example of how the lease buyback scheme work. Okay, right? Then top up then on top of that, okay, this one, is it the same scenario? Yes, right. Yeah, correct. So this one they draw out very cute Mr. and Mrs. Lim, 65 years old, 20,000. Yeah, same. So Mr. Lim got 20,000 in the retirement account before the LBS. Mrs. Lim got 5,000 before the LBS. Flat value at 520K, fully paid already. So they sell away the 35 years of the tail end of the HDB lease, worth of 219,300. Each owner will receive this amount, right? Then each owner top up to their respective retirement account to 90,500. All right. So couple has remaining of 63,300 cash and a CPF life each, right? So you can see the value that is being unlocked by this LBS, right? So after they do this, right, they cannot sell their house anymore. They will have to stay in this house forever. If they like the location, if they don't want to sell the house, and they just want to cash out the house without selling the house, right? This is what elderly couple can do when they reach 65, right? Then they will receive this monthly payout, $1,000 per month for life, right? Based on this Wi-Fi 156 top up to the couple's RA and their RA balance, plus a cash bonus of 7,500. Okay, so this is what has already been stated by the HDB website. So like I say again, right, this lease buyback scheme, right, is very good for people who take up as early as possible. Why I say so is because you start enjoying early, right? If let's say if you choose to wait a few more years down the road, then you choose to activate this, right? Then you will start to enjoy the benefit at a later date. This is essentially what it is all about. But of course, there will be certainly case by case, like some people of a different eligibility, some people of a different profile, like maybe divorced, maybe bankrupt, maybe only the husband left, all these things. So these individual cases, right? Best thing is to call the HDB direct, right? Best thing is to ask a HDB direct. You can go and visit your HDB branch office. If you're not sure, very simple, just type HDB branch office. Then they will ask you to select which estate you are. Okay, then this is something that you can take advantage of. If you are a HDB owner, at least one of you is a Singaporean, both of you must reach 65 years old. And after doing the LBS, right, you cannot sell away the house in the open market anymore. Okay, so this is something that you have to take note. So this is in short what LBS is about. I will say this is generally a very good initiative by the government, because I do understand that they are aware that there's a lot of old people in the Singapore, right? They don't have enough retirement savings, which is a very true and sad fact of the reality. So they came out with this thing, right? So here also got the Q&A, all the Q&A about the lease buyback scheme. Okay. Okay, so I don't feel like going through all the FAQ. There's a lot of the FAQ lah. Yeah, maybe you just click one and see. Monthly payout. So yeah, I think these are the commonly asked questions lah, right? If you're already on CPF Life, can you apply for LBS? Answer is yes. Okay, then they will tell you all the terms and conditions, right? Do you have a choice of the CPF Life plans? Yes. Okay, they will tell you how you want the payout to be like. Okay, how do you receive the money payout? To your bank lah. This one standard lah. Okay, the monthly payout, what's they call? Increase after topping up, depending on your retirement account balance. Okay, I think this one because I really don't want to talk too much about CPF Life because it's really another topic. But in general speaking, right, if you ask me about the lease buyback scheme, right, I would say it's a good scheme for people who are planning to do it. And my advice is, if you really set your mind that this as a couple, this is going to be the very last place that you are going to stay until you die, from the age of 65 onwards, right? Then once you decided, then go for it. Don't drag, because like I mentioned, you the earlier you do, right, the requirement is lower also, because your every year the basic retirement sum becomes higher and higher. So the earlier you do, the faster you start enjoying the benefit. Okay, right. This one about SIRS. They are very interested to know also. What if LBS is affected by SIRS? Okay, so let's say after doing the lease buyback scheme, right, that estate is selected for en bloc, then what happened? Fair compensation. This one pretty standard, quite standard answer. How do I get advice on top up requirement? Call them. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is very good. Elderly flat owners who are interested in LBS can make appointment online over here to attend a personalized one-to-one financial counseling session at HDB. So please take note about this thing. Yeah. So if you are the child, I believe I think most likely you are the child lah. If you are the child watching this, right, do take down this information. Then you can set an appointment for your parents to work out the numbers to see whether it makes sense for them to do or not. I think best, right, before you go down, right, you go to your parents, both your mom and dad, go to their CPF statement and print out their CPF statement, what they have existing before they turn age 65. If let's say they're before 65, you go and print out how much they have in their ordinary, special, and medisave. So with all the information, you just make one trip to HDB site. I think in the HDB site, the officer will also ask you to log in. But sometimes parents they forgot their SingPass and all these things. So it is best that you prepare all these documents and then you go down to the HDB officer and then they will tell you whether it's good or not good. Okay. What else? Wow, a lot of questions. Wow, this one is really the, uh, commonly asked question. Ayo, like this one, why need to ask? And then for elderly, some people who ask this question are also very funny. Minimum occupation period it's just like MOP right? Okay. Wow, so many questions. Oh, this one is the silver housing bonus ready. Okay. Just now I click and explore. I read through briefly before I start recording. Okay. So all these are all the common questions being asked. Okay. Like I mentioned again, sometimes you find information online, it's difficult. It's not that HDB is not doing a good job, but I think they are doing a very good job really to organize all this information properly, so that people can find it online. But sometimes it's just a matter of like habit Like sometimes it's easier that you pick up the phone and call the HDB yourself, and then you ask. Best you can set up the appointment. Then one shot you ask the officer one-on-one and ask properly. I'm a person that even though I know the information is online, I also want to make sure because sometimes you read already, you don't know what you don't know so you don't understand what the person is talking about, or what all this information is being published on this HDB website. So end of the day, after reading, you'll be more confused. So I would say you still will need to go and set up the appointment with the HDB officer. Then with your printed statements and your financial situation, let them know what is your intention, what is your objective. Then from there, the HDB officer will be able to better advise you what to do for whether or not you will want to choose for a lease buyback scheme. Okay, so this is for our silver generation. Yep, this is something good I would say. Yeah. Okay. Yep, that's all for today. I think thank you for watching. If you are still staying on till now, and if let's say you do have any more questions for me, just feel free to comment in the wherever you're seeing YouTube or Facebook. Just feel free to comment your questions inside this comment section. Then I will look through them later, and I will cover this topic again in another video. All right. Thank you very much. Bye bye and take care. Bye. Bye.